Hello and welcome to the daily newscast within the United Countries special by First Ukraine. You can find us at the frequencies available at our website firstua.com. I'm Sergey Velichanskiy and thank you for joining us. Decentralization of the authorities corresponds with the main law of Ukraine. This is the conclusion of the Constitutional Court of Ukraine. Verkhovna Rada had addressed them to get their expert feedback. Let me remind you what the authors of draft law proposed to change in the Constitution. First of all, instead of heads of regional state administrations, there would be prefects who would be appointed by the President upon the recommendation of the Cabinet of Ministers. Local councils are supposed to become the community councils and they will be given a right to merge. Besides, councils can form an executive committee and together they will be able to manage local finances.
The issue regarding land use now is solved. There is an inhabited territory of the town, but the land outside the residential area is out of competency of the local council. So now there will be the restructurization regarding this issue, and land resources outside the borders of the locality will be given to towns and townships. And right after that, we can talk about territory development, pastures for cattle, and so on.
Tonight we have a special guest in our studio, Olivier Vedrine, EU expert, member of the Academic Council of the Assembly of European Regions, expert on EU integration at the Ukrainian law firm Proxen, president of the Continental University think tank. Welcome.
Well,
thank you for being with us. Well, first of all, you've heard about the decentralization, the constitutional law, constitutional court, its decision on the decentralization changes in the Constitution. Well, how do you think, how successful are we in this process of decentralization?
You know, the President François Hollande and Angela Merkel for Germany sent some congratulations to Poroshenko about those reforms in the constitutions.
Oh, really? So that would be your answer, that we're doing quite well?
You are on the road.
Okay.
You are on the road.
All right. Thank you. As far as I know, you are writing a report for the Assembly of the European Regions, and the report is on Ukraine.
Yep.
So that means that you are keeping your finger on the pulse of what is happening. So share with us about this.
Yeah, you know, in this report, I will have to present this report in October in Strasbourg and in Brussels. And in my report, I have to do some analysis about the reforms, about the separatism and the war in Donbass and the annexion of Crimea. And also, I have to talk also about corruption and the process of EU integration. And at the end of this report, I will have to do some political recommendation. Then, and I have to present that officially in October.
Okay.
Myself.
All right. Are you able to keep your eye on the new developments in the civil service reforms? There is a law that was adopted in the first hearing, but still there is second and third hearings that need to be done in the future. Why do you think it takes so long?
Oh, I see some reason, but for me the first reason is this post-Soviet system is still available in Ukraine, and we have some representative of this post-Soviet system. Then that's why I think that can take some time. But in my opinion, in autumn, we will have good news about this law.
Well, thank you for believing in Ukraine, and thank you for being with us on our newscast tonight.
Thank you.
Ukraine, Malaysia, Netherlands, Belgium and Australia will call a Security Council meeting again in 2 months in order to have another attempt to vote for the setup of the International Tribunal regarding downing of MH17. As the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, Pavlo Klimkin, shares in October, an initial report of the group of international investigators will be done. And as we know from the recent UN Security Council session, the primary reason for the Russian veto was the unfinished investigation. A former deputy prosecutor of Kyiv region, Alexander Korniets, was bailed out today for over 3 million hryvnia, which is nearly $130,000. It was reported to First Ukraine by his lawyer, Viktor Petrunenko. He says that bail money was provided by Ludmila Ivanchik, who is his lawyer as well. According to Petrunenko, the Korniets family did not have the needed sum, and in the course of the months, the health condition of the former prosecutor has become worse. That is why the defender decided to bail him out. Let me remind you that Alexander Korniets, as well as the head of the Investigation Department, Shapakin, were taken into custody under suspicion of bribery in the excessive size. During the house and office search, nearly $500,000 were found. Korniets also possessed over 100 of diamonds, a dozen of property documents, and a machine gun. Prosecutor General Shokin has fired both of them. The lawyer of Korniets states that the defendant refuses the accusations.
From the outset of criminal proceedings, Korniets himself argued that he had not received any money from anyone. In addition, Korniets himself said that the whole case is fictitious. These 102 diamonds worth $700, and that is we recognize as our mistake. Since criminal proceedings are illegal, Korniets will pursue its closure and will demand his renovation at work.
Prior to this, Pechersky court of the capital decided not to arrest the ex-Minister of Justice, Alexander Lavrinovich, and ruled preventive measure in the form of collateral in the amount of 1,218,000 hryvnia. A prosecutor insisted bail amount as much as 8.5 million hryvnia. Alexander Lavrinovich shared with journalists that he will appeal to the court. He does not agree with the charges. He is suspected of abuse of office and also of embezzling 8.5 million of public money during the investigation and trial of Yulia Tymoshenko. Last 24 hours had highest amount of shelling of Ukrainian positions than in the whole month. 2 soldiers killed and 5 wounded. ATO headquarters report that Hostre village in Donetsk region was heavily shelled as well as Ukrainian positions near Opytne settlement. The ATO troops were under fire in the Vodyane and Yasnobrodivka area.
Yesterday, from 10 p.m. and almost until midnight, invaders shelled from the tank upon stronghold in Mariinka. Enemy's activity in Artemiv's direction still remained intense. Opponent fired at TOW forces upon the village Luhansky with 122mm artillery, infantry fighting vehicles, and 120 caliber mortars. Also, nearly 10 p.m. Stanitsa Luhanska twice got under fire from 120mm mortar.
Cadets of Azov Battalion blocked State Fiscal Service in the morning. A tow truck blocked the entrance to the building. This way, the Azov soldiers required to keep their training base at the plant Atek in Kyiv. They were evicted because of debts of the company, unpaid taxes. The Azov training base was placed at the plant in November last year. The Atek administration said that the soldiers seized the factory illegally.
Hundreds of military students went through military base located in Atek factory, and they became highly skilled specialists before being sent to the war zone. Since the country is in war, such a base is a must, and the government, by pursuing its vested interests with bribes, want to give it to some fixers and firms that are doing business with Russia.
A man was shot in a supermarket in Kharkiv. According to local police, it took place at midnight when one armed man entered the facility being chased by another man who shot the man and ran away. The man died immediately. The shooter has not been found yet.
At the moment, the victim is established, a 34-year-old man born in the Sumy region. At this time, recovering of surveillance cameras from the supermarket is being scheduled. Criminal investigation has been launched for criminal proceedings under the article of premeditated murder. Witnesses are being established and interviewed, and further investigation is going on.
Another attempt of transporting of 150 kilograms of amber has been intercepted by the border guards on the Ukraine-Poland border. The contraband was transported by 2 vehicles with foreign number tags. We see one of them on the video. During a routine check, one sack with stones was spotted. The State Border Service says they knew in advance about the attempt of amber smuggling. Winter Olympics of 2022 will take in Beijing. This is the final decision of the International Committee in Malaysia. The Chinese capital has offered a good sport infrastructure and demonstrated new stadiums and tracks. The only withdraw is that China does not have natural snow, so the competitions will take place on artificial snow. The only competitor to Beijing today was Almaty city of Kazakhstan. Sometime before, the cities like Stockholm, Krakow, Oslo, Boston and Lviv fell out of the contest of the right to host Games 2022. It was the United Country newscast by First Ukraine. You can find more details at our website, firstua.com. Sergey Velichanskiy was working for you in the studio. We wish you only good news. Take care and goodbye.